Hello, my name is Jasmine, and I am the teen librarian at the Lamont Public Library District. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a few teen fiction, nonfiction, and graphic novels for the month of January that you'll be able to find here at the library. At the end, I'll also be telling you about teen programs we're offering and service hour opportunities you might be interested in. Let's get started. Mystery Royale by Caitlin Cavalancia. The only thing 16-year-old Mullery Prudence has left of her mother is a warning. Run if the strange finds you. But mysterious warnings don't pay the bills or help take care of her sick gran, and they certainly don't make her miserable after-school job any more bearable. When unexpected letters start appearing in peculiar places, sealed in bags of dog food and hidden in the refrigerator, Mullery knows she should avoid them to heed her mother's warning. But her curiosity thinks otherwise. She uncovers an invitation from Stoutmire Estate to compete in a game of Mystery Royale for the chance at a sizable inheritance. Dizzy with the prospect of billions, Mullery enters the game only to unearth the true prize, the illusionary magical properties of Xavier Stoutmire, a recluse without an heir, a recluse who has expected to keep his magic in the family. Especially when there isn't enough for each member. With a prize worth killing for, the game is simple. Be the first to solve the mystery. Who killed Xavier Stoutmire? 1 week of full lavish parties, dripping with enchantments, in a mansion brimming with clues of the past. And everyone's a suspect. To win, Mullery will need to untangle a twisted family web and decide who she can trust. Whitaker Stoutmire, the golden boy who's harboring deadly secrets. Ellison Stoutmire, his closed-off twin, who saw something she shouldn't have. Lyric Stoutmire, the youngest sibling, exiled by the family and burning with resentment. Or Mateo Maldonado, the only other outsider whose reserved manner allows him to hide in the shadows. At least at first. But most of all, Mullery must ask herself why. Why her? A question most strange indeed. Read-alikes include Hotel Magnifique by Emily J. Taylor and The Rosewood Hunt by Mackenzie Reed. The Last Bookstore on Earth by Lily Braun Aron. The world is about to end, again. Ever since the first storm wreaked havoc on civilization as we know it, 17-year-old Liz Flannery has been holed up in an abandoned bookstore in suburban New Jersey where she used to work. Trading books for supplies with the few remaining survivors, it's the one place left that feels safe to her. Until she learns that another earth-shattering storm is coming, and everything changes. Enter Maeve, a prickly and potentially dangerous out-of-towner who breaks into the bookstore looking for shelter one night. Though the two girls are immediately at odds, Maeve has what Liz needs, the skills to repair the dilapidated store before the next climate disaster strikes, and Liz reluctantly agrees to let her stay. As the girls grow closer and undeniable feelings spring up between them, they realize that they face greater threats than the impending storm. And when Maeve's secrets and Liz's inner demons come back to haunt them both, they find themselves fighting for their lives as their world crumbles around them. Read-alikes include Stung by Bethany Wiggins and Matched by Alison Braithwaite-Condy. Afterlife by Gail Forman. One spring afternoon after school, Amber arrives home on her bike. It's just another perfectly normal day, but when Amber's mom sees her, she screams. Because Amber's been dead 7 years, hit by a car while on the very same bike she's inexplicably riding now. This in turn doesn't only impact Amber. Her sister Melissa, now 7 years older, must be a new kind of sibling to Amber. And Amber's estranged parents are battling over her, and the changes ripple farther and farther out. Amber's friends, boyfriend, and even people she met only once have been deeply affected by her life and death. In the midst of everyone's turmoil, Amber is struggling with herself, what kind of person she was, how and why she was given the second chance. Read-alikes include The Stepping Off Place by Cameron Kelly Rosenblum and A Year to the Day by Robin Benway. Bemused by Farah Rochan. Living in a quiet seaside village with their overprotective mother, teenage sisters Calliope, Cleo, Melophamina, Terpsichore, and Thalia are talented performers with no audience. If Callie had her way, she'd pursue her dream of writing epic stories in the city of Thebes. But families come first, and as the eldest, she's never leave her beloved sisters behind. Then, following a disastrous public music performance, their mother reveals a shocking secret. She is Mnemosyne, the goddess of memory, and for nearly 2 decades, she's been on the run from the gods of Mount Olympus, desperate to keep her daughters safe from their machinations. Before she can share more, she is kidnapped, and even though the girls don't know it yet, the villain pulling the strings is none other than Hades, fiery god of the underworld. Under Calliope's leadership, the sisters embark on a journey to save their mother and to learn more about their own divine origins. But the path ahead is filled with mystical trials and tribulations, and their need to rely on both their individual talents and the strength of their sisterhood to ensure that they ascend from zeros to heroes, or more accurately, heroines. Read-alikes include Against the Tide by J.L. and Part of Your World by Stephanie Kate Strom. Everything is Poison by Joy McCullough. Early 17th century Rome. For as long as she can remember, Carmen Tofana has desperately wanted one thing, to be allowed behind the counter of her mother's apothecary in Campo Marzio, Rome. When she turns 16, she's finally allowed into the inner sanctum, the workroom where her mother, Giulia Tofana, and 2 assistants craft renowned remedies for their customers. But for every sweet-smelling flower extract in the workroom, there's another poison requiring darker ingredients. And then there's Aqua Tofana, the apothecary's remedy of last resort for husbands who are just as deadly as any disease. In all Carmela's years of wishing to follow in her mother's footsteps, she never realized one tiny vial could be the death of them all. Read-alikes include The Passion of Dosa by Julie Berry and Witchborn by Nicholas Bowling. This is the Year by Gloria Munoz. 17-year-old self-proclaimed goth and aspiring writer Juliette Villarreal is drowning. She's grieving her twin sister who died in a hit-and-run. Her Florida home is crumbling under the weight of climate disaster, and she isn't sure how much longer she can stand to stay in a place that doesn't seem to have room for her. Then Julie is recruited by Cometa, a private space program enlisting high-aptitude new American teens for a high-stakes mission to establish humanity's first extraterrestrial settlement. Cometa pitches this as an opportunity for Julie to give back to her adopted country. Julie sees it as her only chance to do something big with her life. Julie begins her training, convinced Cometa is her path to freedom. But her senior year is full of surprises, including new friendships, roller skating, and first love. And though her small but poignant acts of environmentalism, Julie begins to find hope in unexpected places. As her world collapses from the ramifications of the climate crisis, Julie must decide if she'll carry her loss together with her community or leave it all behind. Read-alikes include Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo and Midnight at the Electric by Jody Lynn Anderson. A Language of Dragons by S. F. Williamson. Dragons soar through the skies and protests erupt on the streets, but Vivian Featherswallow isn't worried. She's going to follow the rules, get a summer internship studying dragon languages, be smart, be sweet, and make sure her little sister never ever has to risk growing up 3rd class. She just has to free one dragon. By midnight, Viv has started a civil war. With her parents and cousin arrested and her sister missing, Viv is brought to Belchy Park as a codebreaker. If she succeeds, she and her family can all go home again. If she doesn't, they'll all die. As Viv begins to discover the secrets of a hidden dragon language, she realizes that the fragile peace treaty that holds human and dragon societies together is corrupt, and the dangerous work Viv is doing could be the thread that unravels it. Read-alikes include Rebel Witch by Kristen Ciccarelli and Fans of Fourth Ring by Rebecca Yarros. On to nonfiction. The Swans of Harlem by Karen Valby. At the peak of the civil rights movement, Lydia Alberic was the first ballerina in a black ballet company to grace the covers of Dance magazine. Alongside founding members Sheila Rohan, Gail McKenney, Griffith, and first-generation dancers Carly Shelton and Marcia Sells, Alberica arrived a bright light to shine on black professional classical dancers. Grit, determination, and exquisite artistry propelled these swans of Harlem to dizzying heights as they performed around the world for audiences that included celebrities, dignitaries, and royalty. Now, decades later, these trailblazing ballerinas and longtime friends are giving voice to their stories on and off stage, reclaiming their past so that it can finally be recorded, acknowledged, and lauded, never to be lost again. Reader likes include The Many Faces of Josine Baker by Peggy Cervantes and Taking Flight by Micaela de Prince. King, A Life by Jonathan Eigg. Once often regarded as more of a myth and legend than a man, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was many things throughout his storied life: student, activist, preacher, dreamer, father, and husband. From his Atlanta childhood centered in the historically black neighborhood of Sweet Auburn to his precipitous rise as a civil rights leader on the streets of Birmingham, Selma, and Montgomery, Dr. King would go on to become one of the most recognizable, influential, and controversial persons of the 20th century. In this fast-paced and immersive adaptation of Jonathan Egg's groundbreaking New York Times bestseller, readers will meet a Dr. King like no other. A committed radical whose demands for racial and economic justice remain as urgent today as they were in his lifetime. A minister wrestling with his own human frailties and dark moods. A citizen hunted by his own government. The inspiring young adult edition of King, A Life, highlights the author's never-before-seen research, including recently declassified FBI documents, while reaffirming and recontextualizing the lasting effects and implications of MLK's work for the present day. Adapted by National Book Award-nominated authors Uhura Williams and Michael G. Long, this biography for a new generation is a nuanced, unprecedented portrayal of a man who truly shook the world. Reader likes include Frederick Douglass by David W. Blight and John Lewis by John Lewis. Now for graphic novels. Song of a Blackbird by Maria van Lieshout. Fight Hate, Make Art. In 1943 Amsterdam, Emma Bergsma's world changes when she witnesses Jewish families being forcibly transported to concentration camps. That pivotal moment lights a fire within her, and she decides to join the Dutch resistance. Before long, Emma is drawn into a clandestine world of printing presses and counterfeiters with thousands of lives on the line. In 2011 Amsterdam, teenage Annika's world has changed as well. A search for a bone marrow donor for her beloved Oma leads to a shocking revelation. Her grandmother was secretly adopted as a child. The only clues to finding their lost family are a series of art prints hanging on the wall, each signed by a mysterious Emma B. This timely graphic novel weaves together two timelines to reveal how art, in the face of political upheaval and nearly insurmountable adversity, can become our greatest lifeline. Reader likes include Displacement by Kiku Hughes and 28 Days by David Schaefer. This winter, for tween and teen programs, we are doing Adventurers Unite, Fantastic Face Painting, and Valentine's Day Cookie Decorating. We are also doing 100 books before graduation, where you read 100 books before graduating, log them through your Beanstack account, and win prizes on the way to 100. For service hours, we have Teen Volunteer Squad, At Your Service programs, Teen and Tots Lego Adventures, and our Character Pen Pal letter writing program, where you can come in and pick up a kit to write letters to children as your favorite character. We also have book reviews and advanced reader book reviews where you get to keep the title after reviewing it. I also make Teen Taken Matrix each month. If you're looking for a quick craft to complete at home, this month's craft is snowflake ornaments. If you would like any more information about programs or service hour opportunities, you can contact me at jwilkerson@lamontlibrary.org. Thank you and have a great day.